We're not going to sit here and tell you where and when to tip, how much to tip. That's not our goal, but our goal is to kind of shed some light behind the scenes as to what actually is going on and how tipping isn't always a bad thing. It doesn't have to be a bad thing.
Yeah. All right, guys, this is part 2. Part 2 to episode 23, was it?
Yeah. So it's episode 24.
24, allegedly. We'll see.
Lord willing.
This is part 2. Yes. So we're going to continue right where we left off. But first, we actually have a new coffee. This one is also through Podium Coffee. So we mentioned this before. Jack, tell us a little bit about Podium Coffee.
Podium Coffee Club is a coffee subscription service, but it's not your normal coffee subscription service. It's monthly coffees from award-winning roasters. So they won some sort of championship in the United States. This week we have this coffee from Bonlife. Super cool coffee, Colombia Pink Bourbon, but it's Co-Ferment with Lychee.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
It is.
Yes.
I'm excited for you to try this. I tried this one earlier and it's so good. It's so good. You guys did a great job with this Co-Ferment. Now, you guys may know my thoughts on co-ferments. I'm not the biggest fan. I love drinking them. But something about co-ferments doesn't sit right with me sometimes. So there's that. I can enjoy them.
Yes, I'll say I think it's interesting and fun to try.
Yes.
It's not what I want for my daily cup.
Yeah.
I want a really excellent, just naturally great coffee.
Yeah.
But they are interesting to try, and this smells pretty wild.
Yeah, it is
sweet.
really good to enjoy coffee. It's a delicious coffee. It's just something that maybe, think about coffees that I roast, might not be something that I would want to have, because it starts to border that line of like, is this truly single origin coffee anymore? Mm-hmm. That's up for debate, but that's not what we're talking about today. So
yeah, so it's gonna be finished brewing in about 30 seconds here, so I'll just grab that then. But Jack, do you want to continue talking about what we're talking about?
So we're talking about should you tip your barista? This is part 2 now. So if you haven't listened to part 1, go back, watch part 1. It's great, I promise. But now we're going to continue talking about it. So what I was saying from the last episode is we're talking about tipping and how it's somewhat of a broken system, especially pre-service tipping, like tipping in coffee shops, tipping at fast food places. It's kind of something that has been slowly adopted, and it's just kind of the norm now. And whether or not we should continue to do it, what are the benefits of it?
Started with good intentions, and it has slowly changed to the point where it's generally kind of frustrating for people on both sides.
Yes. And one thing that I think is that if you are starting a coffee shop, I would say collect tips, just because it is, for right now at least, the societal norm, and it is a way to kind of help competitively price your drinks, because otherwise you're going to have a really hard time competing with coffee prices in other local coffee shops, places like Starbucks and other places. If your drinks are costing $2 to $3 more per drink, you're not going to sell as many. So even though we may have issues with the system, don't feel that guilt of taking tips, because it shouldn't be something that you should feel guilty about. Man, I could smell that coffee all the way from here.
Yeah.
Let me get some of that.
Yeah, let's pause there.
Pause there.
Try this coffee.
Yeah, I've had like maybe 3 co-ferments before. I've had a strawberry and a watermelon. And this lychee here.
Okay, so I had a grape co-ferment.
Great, that sounds good.
From Valor Coffee. Shout out Valor.
Shout out Valor.
At Expo, they had a grape co-ferment. It was pretty wild. It tasted like grape soda, honestly.
Do you know what? Oh, it was from Valor, you said.
Yes, it was from their farmer, Sebastian Ramirez, I believe.
Shout out Sebastian Ramirez.
Yeah, shout out.
That's you.
Yeah, I think so. Because they also...
Do you guys watch the podcast? I know you do.
Yes.
Comment down below.
If I said the wrong thing, please correct me.
Yes.
Anyway, that was really wild. Really funky. It really tasted like grape soda. When I also tried okay, how do you say this fruit? I feel like a dummy. I've
heard it multiple ways. I've heard lychee. I've heard lychee.
Okay. I tried a small amount of a Lychee co-ferment from
Yeah, let's go with Lychee. Yeah.
Lychee co-ferment from Onyx, also at Expo.
Yeah.
It was a very small amount, so I don't really remember it that well, but it was interesting. Oh yeah, Lychee. Okay.
Lychee. Yeah, Lychee.
Lychee. That's how the Google says
Lychee.
to. Oh.
Hold on.
Lychee.
That's probably gonna
Lychee.
sound really bad on the mics here. Lychee. Okay, but
Okay.
so I don't know where I got confused along the line that
A
I
lot
thought
of
it was
people say leash.
or leash. Whatever you said.
I don't. Let's just forget that part and just say
is
Lychee.
Is it like one of those like geisha things?
It might
you
be.
can just kind of say it however you want.
Yeah, and you go back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I tried that. AJ got Arcila. Shout out AJ. He
out
got
AJ.
me a Valor coffee
Mm.
when my son was born as a gift, and that was a strawberry co-ferment. Also very interesting.
Have you ever had a bad Valor coffee before?
No, they're always great.
Yeah.
I really liked their like classic, like sweet, mellow coffees.
What box color is that typically?
Well, I like their pink boxes,
yeah.
but I've also had a really great green box. I think it was El Salvador a while ago.
Yeah. Why does
That
El
was great.
Salvador just green to me for some reason? Most coffees I've had, it just seems like a green coffee to me.
So
Weird.
I had that.
Yeah.
And now remind me of, I had the same one as you at the, when we were downstate in Detroit. What was that one?
Oh, ground control. Strawberry co-ferment, is that what you're talking about?
Oh, yes. Okay.
Or the
Was it-
watermelon?
what, did they have both?
No, Curious Coffee had the watermelon.
I
cold brew.
had whatever ground control had.
Yeah, that was really good. Strawberry co-ferment from Ground Control. Shout out Ground Control Coffee Roasters. That was so good. It reminded me of, I think we talked about this on whatever's episode that was, 17, when we went to after the
Yeah.
Roast Retreat.
Yeah.
But it was so good. It reminded me of like the dehydrated strawberries you get in your cereal.
Kellogg's.
As they're rehydrating, that like burst of flavor and acidity. It's like a weird way to describe it. It doesn't actually sound that good, but it is good.
Kind of tart, probably,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah. It has a lot of
Nice.
the tartness from the strawberry, but like nice underlying sweetness.
Yeah. So I've had a few now. And I've also had coffees with like technically co-fermented with yeast. I mean, we've talked about
Like
that before.
non-fruit
Yeah, just nothing else but yeast.
Yeah.
And those create some
Yeah.
interesting flavors. But yeah,
It's really interesting to see, and I love watching and curiously dipping my toe into, or cautiously, I should say, dipping my toe into the world of experimental processing. I think one thing that for me, at least, that's really important about it is that you properly label whatever it is that has another fruit in it, you know. And
Yeah.
you're not actually putting blueberries in your bag of coffee, but it's co-fermented with that fruit. So it's going to have flavors of that fruit. So, I mean, I've seen even coffees that get disqualified from competitions because they've been co-fermented with a fruit, and nobody
wasn't
said
disclosed.
that. It was not disclosed.
Sus. Okay. I just remembered.
Yeah.
I did also have some of a watermelon co-ferment from Brandywine. I think that was the first co-ferment I ever had.
Nice.
I had it in Detroit at Red Hook.
Shout out Red Hook.
Shout out Red Hook. Shout out Brandywine. Shout out Detroit.
Real.
Shout out Adam, because Adam was the one that bought it, and I drank some of it. And Adam was also the one that knocked it over and spilled it everywhere. So
Like the brew or the beans.
he knocked over his cup.
Dang. Sounds
Shout-
like Adam.
Shout out Adam.
Dang.
It's okay.
Imagine
It's cool.
that's your shout
It's a great
out on
time.
the podcast. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
that was when we were down in Detroit with Adam and Kelly for the Clancy World Tour. Shout out 21 Pilots. New album Breach just dropped. I can't believe I forgot to mention that last episode. New job, new baby, Breach.
New breach.
Yeah, crazy hype.
Move it up. It's a breach. You know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Good
For
stuff.
real.
Good stuff.
but that was also really interesting. I feel like those. I think that was a washed coffee co-ferment, so it was a little brighter, cleaner.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really interesting.
Real.
Yeah, it's good.
It's very heavy on the lychee, I feel like.
Yeah.
But it's very good. It's very tart and very
Now-
interesting. I think it's a washed Colombia.
Washed honey co-ferment. So
Yeah.
some washed, some
Not
honey.
washed honey, but honey co-ferment, right? Or does it say washed?
It says washed, honey. So are some washed and some are honey?
It says washed, honey, and then co-ferment.
Yeah.
Those are 3 different processes.
Um,
Bonlife, let us know. Is this some sort of thing I don't know about? Because obviously, honestly, I'm learning new things every day. So, but let me pull up the card here.
Interesting. Finca Santa Monica. Is there a specific information card for it?
I have the old one.
Oh, there's a package I threw on the ground down there.
I don't think it's in. It's gone.
This,
we'll never know.
Yeah. Well, this podcast is improv. This whole thing, if you guys didn't know, this ain't staged.
No,
just being real.
Real.
I thought I had something else to say.
Well,
it's okay. We could get back to the topic.
This is from Podium. But they always send a little info card in there. And that's where I got that it said it was co-fermented with lychee, because it doesn't actually say it on the back here.
Oh,
but,
okay. Well, it says co-ferment, but it doesn't say what with.
It doesn't say what with. But I knew that it was with at some point. So I could just be making it all up, I am delusional.
He's just out here fibbing.
Real.
So, to get back to our topic.
Tips.
Yes, tips.
Should you tip your barista?
Should you? One thing. Now, we talked a lot about kind of that customer side of tipping and kind of how to see it. Mm-hmm. I want to speak to people that are on the receiving end of tips for their sake, and also so customers can maybe understand that perspective a little bit.
Yeah.
So obviously we've both had jobs where we've received tips.
We have both had jobs where we've received tips. Absolutely.
Yeah. Have you received tips ever?
I have. Not anymore, but yes.
Yeah, because
Yeah, they cut me off the tips. I don't know. I had something witty to say, but
like when you were like younger, did you get tips when you worked bar?
Yeah, it was because obviously I was a part of the company before I was legally an adult, so I wasn't able to take pay in the same manner. So I wasn't able to be on salary or whatever that looked like. Uh-huh. So I just taking tips with the rest of the team. Nice. And obviously because I was an adult, I still had the opportunity to leave the company at any point. I had no legal obligation. I had kind of a moral obligation.
Yeah, you had a moral one. So
to myself.
For one, I'll just say my attitude towards tips.
Yeah.
It is difficult for me when people feel like others don't necessarily deserve tips. I don't think that's necessarily fair across the board.
Yeah.
But also, whenever I receive tips, it was not an expectation of mine.
Yeah.
Ever. Like genuinely.
Mm-hmm.
I dislike having to turn the screen around and ask for a tip, but also I've chosen not to be awkward about it. Mm-hmm. I just turn the screen around and I just start getting their thing ready, so they can click that, but I'm not going to stand there and stare at them. Or that's just be it's going to ask you a little question.
Yeah, it's a good thing to talk about, because it's we're in this system. How do you, as a barista, handle it with grace without guilt tripping your guests who come?
Yes.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You're going to get less tips that way.
And genuinely don't expect a tip.
Yeah.
Don't. And I think that gets back to the heart of tipping a lot more, is when you're able to receive a tip with genuine gratitude rather than a sense of entitlement, so that when you don't receive a tip, you are frustrated instead of that being your expectation.
Yeah.
So for me, when people tip, especially when they tip in cash, especially after service, genuine gratitude. I've had plenty of experiences where people will get a service, have a great conversation, that kind of thing, and they are looking for a tip jar. They're they want to give you a tip, or even you haven't even served them yet, but they're looking hey, where's your tip jar? Even though it's right on the counter, but they miss it.
Yeah. We don't have the hand-drawn tips, tip jar type of thing. It's
Mario or Bowser, put it in the tip jar. Dogs or cats, who you want?
Michigan or Michigan State. Man, pet peeve right there.
It's clever though.
It's
clever.
Yeah. Is it clever? Because everybody does it.
That's how we should vote in
original.
America. It's whoever can
Wow.
get the
Whoever's
most
got
money.
more money.
Whoever
That's
can get the
wild.
most money in their jar
That
is to be
is
president.
Wild take.
That would be a great way.
Have to say I disagree with that, but that's all right.
As someone who doesn't have very much money to put in the jar.
Man, that's crazy.
Anyway, what was I saying? My goodness.
Tipping for your favorite sports team.
Oh.
It's gotta be like betting, right? Gotta be
Yes.
rules against
So,
that.
I think that you should receive it with genuine gratitude. If somebody tips, if somebody makes an effort to tip, genuinely thank them. Don't just like stare at them or pretend like you didn't see it.
Yeah.
Acknowledge the fact that they tipped you because that was them showing gratitude to you, and you should show some gratitude to them.
It's a hard balance to have because that's for me. That's that's easy to say. It's easy to encourage because tips do not affect my income. Tips do affect baristas' income, but I think from a realistic standpoint, that for when it's good for your soul to receive things with gratitude, but it's also you're gonna get more tips if you are nicer. That's just the truth. If you don't have that expectation, if you have an expectation for tips, you're going to receive less tips because if you give off that feeling of expectation of entitlement, you lack gratitude, and people don't want to tip somebody who's not grateful, because a lot of people, whether they want to admit it or not, want to be noticed that they are tipping. They want to be acknowledged that they are putting money in the tip jar. I've noticed people people just want to be acknowledged, and that's fine.
Yeah, and I think that, obviously some people, maybe it's just them wanting gratitude for what they're doing, or I think that largely if somebody is like clearly wanting you to notice that they're tipping, I think that it's just because they want you to know that they appreciated your work.
Yeah, it's not just it's not like oh, look at me, I'm doing the right thing. It's here, I am showing you my appreciation for what you're doing by giving you this money, but also showing you that I'm doing this too.
It's funny. I feel like I see a lot of older men specifically will say oh, I'm putting a tip in the and it's not for their own praise. It's genuinely just because that's their way of saying
that's
you.
how tipping started of
Yes.
a show of gratitude of thank you for doing this. I see the craft and the skill that you put into that, and I think that's where the difference starts to come in. When it comes to specialty coffee, is that it's a little different than a regular typical coffee shop, because sometimes, yes, you are just getting a pastry put into a bag and a coffee served out of a carafe, but a lot of the times you're getting a craft-made drink. People who have spent months or even years learning how to create drinks. Higher-end coffee shops and bigger cities will have baristas who compete.
Yeah, I think that's an important point, recognizing the talent and skill that it takes, honestly, to make great coffee. I think that a lot of people don't see being a barista as a skill job. Yeah. A job that requires any skill.
And it maybe it is a less skilled job than some other jobs out there. But
I think that totally
still
depends.
A lot of skill. Yeah.
I think it depends, if you're talking second wave, fast and cheap, and there's no art. They're not steaming your milk with any intentionality, temperature, that kind of stuff. Yeah, that definitely takes less skill. You can kind of just get somebody back there, even though they're working hard. Not to discount necessarily what they're doing, because they're definitely working hard and
mostly a result of
getting hit by that rush.
Management, but
yes, but especially when you're talking about third wave shops, there are a lot of people that have really put in time and effort, and they really care about what they're serving you. They're pouring your drink, and they're like, that's literally the ugliest thing I've ever poured in my life, or they're just like, that looks good, they're really their service to you is really important to them, and the result of your drink that you're receiving is really important to them, and so they're putting in a lot of effort to make sure that tastes great. And so I think that it's appropriate to show gratitude.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, we're not going to sit here and tell you where and when to tip, how much to tip. That's not our goal, but our goal is to kind of shed some light behind the scenes as to what actually is going on, and how tipping isn't always a bad thing. It doesn't have to be a bad thing.
Yeah.
So maybe the way in which systems are maybe forced upon people a lot of the times is not great. And you can not accept tips. Say Coffee in New York, they have a sign, they do not accept tips. Your pour over does cost $10, but they don't accept tips.
Huh.
And it works just fine for them because you no more guilt.
I didn't know that.
No more weird bar situation. They just don't accept tips, you know. And that's a good thing to do, but not every place has the ability to do that.
Yeah.
Like they have a lot of recognition in the industry.
Yeah, Say Coffee can do that.
They can do that.
Say.
And that's I'm glad that they're doing that because maybe that is helping shift a little bit of the industry, but it also is New York City. It's not every town in America, you know.
Yeah, there are enough people in New York City that appreciate that.
Yeah.
In the area that can go there.
Exactly.
But if we did that in Traverse City, that might be a lot more difficult.
Yeah, I mean it's hard from a business standpoint to just price your drinks $3 more than other places. Like you're just simply people. There may not be enough people who see or understand the difference in your beverage, and you have to be realistic, you know. And honestly, I like what they're doing, but I don't see tipping as a bad or evil thing. I really don't.
I know. I don't see it as a bad thing because genuinely, when it's done the right way, it's a great thing.
It's overinflated,
it's a great thing,
you know. But I do think it's a good thing.
Yeah. So what I will say to people who are on the receiving end of tips, one, work for them, right? Like genuinely go above and beyond. Be kind. Be personable. Like care. Yeah. About your customers, even though that necessarily shouldn't being personable shouldn't necessarily be above and beyond. It is.
Yeah. 100%.
So just really care. You know, take care of somebody. Really try to earn your tips. You know, don't just expect them to come regardless.
Yeah.
Also, I'd say don't be entitled.
Yeah.
Even if you're working hard and being super kind and friendly. That can be totally spoiled by being entitled and being like expecting tips,
and
being like upset when somebody doesn't, or like thinking poorly of them, or just being rude. Like that's a thing, you know, people are rude when you don't receive tips. And so don't be that way. Don't be that kind of person. Mm-hmm. Be a person that works hard, that works for your tips, that shows genuine gratitude when you receive tips. Yeah. Because that's a person worth tipping.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a hard thing, and there's a lot of mindset of working somewhere, you know, to make ends meet, which, you know, we all do, but kind of doing the bare minimum. I'm never going to agree with that mode of lifestyle just because you're going to be miserable personally, but everyone else around you is going to be miserable, you know. But anyway, I was going to say something about tips, and now I don't have it.
Don't have it.
Oh, yes. There will be people, you know, you were saying work for your tips. There will be people who have the money to tip you more, and they will. And you will get recognized for that. So it's not just, you know, just work for your tips, and you're just going to make the exact same amount of tips because tips are just normal. But work for your tips to not only, you know, make people feel less weird about tipping, but also you can make more tips that way too.
Yeah. I don't like tipping, and I also love tipping.
Yeah.
You know, right? Like that's the difficult thing is when it feels like there's an expectation to tip, even though service wasn't great. Yeah. Right. Like if I'm at a restaurant and service isn't great, and I can clearly see it's like, you know, you can have mediocre service, but also see that they're like slammed, right? And like there's something worth recognizing there. Yeah. But yeah, there's times where you don't really get great service. It's just all right. And it's like 20% is the expectation. Yeah. You know, I honestly don't ever tip below 18. Dang. I've never received service bad enough for me to like.
Because like technically you can tip 0%. Yeah. You technically can. You might not be safe on your drive home that night, but like you could. So it is technically still optional, but it's just so required at this point. it feels weird, and it feels weird to even think about how much to tip or whether or not you should tip. You go to McDonald's, you get a little whatever they call it, McBurger,
McFrickin'.
Yeah. Wow. I feel like uncultured. I don't know. Anyway,
you get a burger. Wait, when is the last time you've had McDonald's?
I think I've had like their breakfast bagel. It was not that long ago. They're all right. They're great.
I will say, the last like couple weeks of pregnancy, we had Wendy's several times.
Wendy's is actually bus.
But previously, I mean, Wendy's got really bad for a stretch there, where Wendy's was like, wow, that's bad. But
do you tip at Wendy's?
I don't even know if it's I don't even know.
I don't think so. I don't think it's an option. I don't think it's an option at McDonald's or Wendy's. But there was this one. I think it was
tip your DoorDashers.
Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen had an option for tip, and I had to sit there and I had to think about that. And it's just an awkward situation to be in, and I feel for everyone who's in that situation at a coffee shop. Should I tip in this situation? Mm-hmm. Is anybody looking? Are they going to see it when they flip that iPad back around and they give you a scowl and you're like,
yeah,
should have tipped 21%.
Here's the thing. I feel like, I don't know, somebody tell me if this is wrong, but I feel like a lot of Dairy Queen employees are pretty miserable. I don't know what that's about. So maybe tip them a little extra, even though you might not, I feel like they're always just like boom, boom. Listen, I'm sure they're great. I'm not saying there are probably great, very happy Dairy Queen employees out there, but I don't know why. I feel like a lot of my Dairy Queen experiences have just been like a
subpar. Yeah.
Just like they flip that over and they just they don't look happy. So tip them extra, they need it. But
yeah.
Okay, that's
so with that being said, tipping has kind of gotten out of hand. I think everyone can agree with that. That once it reaches meme culture, then something has really happened. All of those memes about
EMS work.
Yeah, just showing you the iPad screen.
Showing you the iPad screen.
Here's the tip of just normal mundane things. Yes. So there are some studies. I can link the studies below because I don't have them right here. But 72% of U.S. adults say tipping is expected in more places than it was 5 years ago. That makes sense. I mean, it is. It's true. And then 35% of U.S. adults say tipping culture has gotten out of control. It depends on what you mean by gotten out of control, but I would kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
It's kind of gotten just like, it's expected in so many places, and it's seen as maybe harmless in some of those places. Oh, yeah, we'll just add it because we'll get tips that way. But then you're just feeding into that toxic tip culture, maybe, I'll say.
It's strayed from what its intention is. Mm-hmm. Now, I will say to the person who is on the giving end of tips, on the customer side.
Yeah.
Take opportunities to be generous. Honestly. Like take opportunities to be generous.
Smell the roses.
Don't be so I get the frustration of like constantly being asked for tips.
Yeah.
Like it wears you out, but don't be so worn out by it that you're not taking opportunities to be generous with people, whether or not you feel like they deserve it.
Yeah.
Definitely be generous when they deserve it, but sometimes, I don't know, it's crazy. Be generous when they don't deserve it. That's like, I don't know. I'll say that. Yeah. But yeah, honestly, like it's genuinely appreciated. People who receive tips that they didn't necessarily deserve.
Yeah.
Do
you think that
it's
like harmful to the tip culture as a whole if there is tipping in places where maybe it shouldn't be expected, say fast food?
I think so. I don't think that's a great transition. I don't think that's like something that's great for our culture because it kind of gives people that fatigue. But yeah, I will say like people like be generous. Yeah, it's great. When I met my wife, Fallon, we were dating. Fallon. Yeah, shout out Fallon. She would tip so much everywhere.
There's just a thing in Colorado.
No, it's just her.
Just generous heart.
Yeah, she would just like tip above 20%, like a lot, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, that's your money, But that's the thing is like, just do it. Just choose to be generous because it's great, and it's a blessing to yourself, and it's a blessing to others. And what a great opportunity you have on maybe a daily basis to show generosity to somebody else, specifically somebody else who's in your community and a part of like your daily routine, that kind of thing. Like that doesn't go unnoticed. And even if it does, it's even better.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have the opportunity to bless somebody else and yourself by using it to be generous.
Yeah.
I would encourage people to tip with cash. This is something else that we didn't really touch on.
Yeah.
But there are some complexities to like, where is my tip going?
Yeah.
This is also, I feel like, why a lot of people have a hard time with a tip. Because if they're asking for a tip at McDonald's, you're saying, is this tip going directly to these employees?
You'd hope so.
And that's the thing. It's not always that way. I had a lot of people ask me at Mundo's every once in a while, like, are you going to get this tip?
Yeah.
And I could confidently say yes, because I knew the structure of the tipping at Mundo's, but that's not always the case. There are places where just management gets like a large portion of tips, or cash tips go to some people and card tips go to others. And so that does add some complexity to it. Generally, cash tips more directly go to.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of people say cash tips are better, and that's technically if you do cash tips under the table, which isn't legal, but most places do it anyway.
That does happen. But what I'm saying is there are larger companies that will maybe take some out of, or like use the card gratuity, or at least there's a processing fee or something like there's more steps along the way before it gets where cash tips usually go more directly to the employee. But the large reason why I'd say to use cash is so that you can tip after service in a coffee shop specifically.
Yeah.
Yes, there are restaurants and cafes and stuff that are using cash to tip under the table. That happens a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of places would prefer if you did it for that reason. Do what you want with that. Yeah. I mean, I honestly think that the legislation passed where there's no taxes on tips anymore.
I don't know that.
I don't know if that.
Yes, I think so. I don't know if it's as cut and dry as straight up no tax on tips, but there was. Tips were basically for a long time seen as just a part of your income, which it is, but it was because of it's technically optional. There should be less or no tips on it, which I agree with. So
yeah, but yes, I would encourage you to use cash when you have the opportunity to tip somebody in, especially a coffee shop setting, because that allows you to tip after service, which honestly, me as when I worked in coffee serving people, I appreciated it even more so when they were tipping after service, because that's what it's about. That's why tipping exists is to
Here's
tip.
A cheat code.
Okay.
If you get a drink, you're hanging out at a coffee shop, you get your espresso, whatever. You go to leave, get a batch brew, tip on that one, tip more on that one. If you like, tip the normal amount, and if you exceptional service. I've had people do that where
that's a good point.
They've forgotten to tip. And they actually did. They actually forgot, or maybe I turned the screen around too fast or something, whatever it was, and they got something else. Not because they felt bad, but because they were just going to anyway, and they left a larger tip on that one.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's always possible. That's if you're a big spender, though.
Yeah. No, but yeah, that's great. And honestly, being able to tip somebody after service is really great. And I think it's encouraging to them. It does exactly what tipping is supposed to do. It really makes them, it makes them feel like they did a good job. It makes them feel valued and appreciated for their work. That's like the best way to do it. So like if you want to if you have cash on you, or if you want to maybe start carrying cash, crazy thought. Start carrying cash just for tipping. I don't know. Is that a crazy? I would encourage you to try and do that though, because I really think
that's the number one reason I don't carry cash is because I have to deal with change. You just keep a few bills.
Just having change in general encourages me to tip more, because I am not holding on to those coins. Those are all going in the tip jar.
Quarters. No way.
No, you won't.
Man.
But then every once in a while, I need a quarter for a gumball machine, and gotta ask my mom.
50 cents now, though. Inflation hit the gumball machine. It's over.
50, 75 cents.
Switch over, man. That's crazy.
Next, you're gonna have Apple Pay on the gumball machine.
Oh man,
$2.
$2 a gumball. What's America come to? Wow.
Yeah, there's something else. Yeah. But anyway, take an opportunity to be generous. I think
absolutely.
I honestly think that if you take the pressure off yourself as a customer, say, there's no expectation for me to tip, but I'm gonna be generous.
Yeah.
It honestly, it'll feel a lot better. You'll enjoy tipping more. Yeah. You'll feel good about it.
Real.
Around Christmas time, put a large sum of money in the tip jar. I double dog dare you. Do crazy things.
And one thing I will say is that like tipping your local barista helps to strengthen community. I would say like creating, be a regular at your coffee shop. Get to know. That's a great way to be part of your community, to be in the know of what's going on, and just to meet people, see people. Tip your local barista. That's my stance. Yeah. Is tipping perfect? No. Is it flawed? Yes. But are we in this system, and should we continue to tip people? I think so.
Yeah. All I would encourage you to do is tip with joy. Choose to have joy when you're doing it.
Real. Yeah. I don't have a solution for you. But.
Yeah, because it's not, unless there's a change, it exists as it is, and it's not perfect. But on the receiving end, receive with gratitude, and on the giving end, tip with joy. Choose to do it out of a generous heart rather than out of compulsion.
Yeah. But we've talked a lot. What do you guys do? What is your protocol when coming to a coffee shop? Do you tip? Do you not? Let us know. We'd love to argue with you.
Yeah, I bet there are a lot of people that were listening to us and didn't like what we said.
And they've commented already.
Yeah, they probably did not want to hear us say that you should tip.
Yeah.
Probably want to hear the opposite. But.
Yeah. I've also heard the opposite. I've heard people say that if you can't afford a tip, then you shouldn't go get coffee. I don't know if I agree with that either. So it's a little.
I have heard that.
Yeah. But we're not here to tell you what to do. We're here to shed some light, and that's all. So make your own decisions.
Make your own decisions, but be a good person. Just be happy, live life, be a happy person, and be generous and be grateful. And
wow, that is way too many things to do. Because you guys got some homework after this one.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. This is episode 24. Man, next one's 25. That's wild. That's like quarter
of a century.
Quarter of a century. Really.
Yeah, we're
25.
Getting,
well, actually,
we're getting
25,
close to a year.
25 is actually maybe one away from a year episode. Technically, I think we skipped 1 week during Expo.
But we alternated.
So we're only 1 week past.
Yeah, so we didn't skip an episode. We just bumped.
Not skipped an episode, but we shifted 1 week. So a year is 52 weeks, which is exactly 26 episodes. But now, it's not. It's 25 and a half or whatever.
We're going to have to go big for the old Annie. Yeah. The EPCP.
Wait, this is episode 24.
Oh, why?
Oh, we are going big with episode 25. Just you guys wait.
Is episode 25 or when was our first episode posted?
I'm just saying episode 20 because 25 is a nice number.
Yeah, but
that's first episode was sometime in December before Christmas.
Oh yes, it was like the week or two before
17th
Christmas.
Or something like that.
That's right, because we look like we were a Christmas podcast.
We'll do a little research and know our own things maybe at some point. Yeah. Well, if you guys have stuck around for this long, thank you. If you haven't, well, no, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for the input. Thanks for letting us know what you want to hear about.
Yeah, seriously.
We want to hear more of what you guys want to hear about.
Before the video started, while the video was playing, and after the video was done.
And if you didn't do that, it's okay. We don't know. Just make sure you go back.
Or if you're listening on Apple Podcasts,
smash that like button.
Leave us a review. 5 stars if you like it. Or not. You don't have to.
What you could do is leave a 1-star review to be funny. And really, it's not funny.
It's actually not.
It's not funny.
It's not. It's like thinking that not going to a restaurant and not tipping your server is funny. It's that same type of funny.
The prank where I just don't tip you. Yeah. 1-star review prank.
I mean, okay, it's not quite that severe. It's just 1 star. But anyway, thanks for listening, guys.
Really
this is episode 24. We've got something exciting in store for next episode 25, so do not miss that one. If you missed this one, then you won't know not to miss next one. So you're probably going to miss next one.
But that's okay.
Just don't miss any of them to be safe,
Yeah, honestly, don't miss an episode, Ben.
That was episode 24. Cheers.